It's Tuesday, July 7th, and time for your Barbados Today morning news update. An initiative encouraging Black Barbadians to spend their money exclusively with Black-owned businesses today is receiving no support from one of this country's largest private sector organizations. Instead, President of the Barbados Private Sector Association, Edward Clark, is encouraging the Black business sector to unite. He suggests that Blackout Tuesday could do more harm than good.
It doesn't help the situation. I think it may have to want to show economic power. That's a goal that they may be trying to achieve, but it doesn't help to bring the community together. There's no doubt about that. And if you have any white silver, we're not gonna spend money with Black businesses either. You know, so I think it's starting something that I don't think it will help bringing them together, bringing Blacks and whites together in Barbados. It would show the power of the Black Barbadian spendable income. If that is the objective, that may be something that they're trying to. I don't know what the exact goal is, but that could be a goal that they may be trying to achieve. But I don't know if it is something that will help the society. It might help galvanize people of color, Blacks and other people of color to do it. And if that's the goal, well, they would try to achieve that. But I don't think in general it will help bring the Barbadian society together, whether it's Black, white, Indian, Chinese, mixed race, or whatever. I don't think that objective will help bring the society together. I think it's a much bigger issue than that.
Meantime, the two women pushing for Blackout Day to be acknowledged in Barbados do not see the initiative as being racist. Instead, Marcia Weeks and Lisa Niles see Bajan Blackout as a way to not only encourage persons to patronize Black businesses, but as a means to encourage economic empowerment within the Black community. In an interview with Barbados Today, Niles said, while Blackout Day was conceptualized in the U.S., she felt a tailor-made initiative could be held in Barbados.
It's important that as a community, as a Black community, that we do something to uplift ourselves. And so that is really how the whole thing came about. And so I contacted someone in Canada, because this is an international thing. It's worldwide, actually. If you research on it, tomorrow, the 7th, where some places, here it's just a day, but some places it's an entire week. And so the objectives for this thing, for what we're doing here in Barbados, that is actually tailor-made for us, because our situation is different, as you would know from some of the other countries, say the U.S., where I think they're only 13% Black. So we have tailor-made what we're doing in terms of the blackout, or the Bajan blackout is different.
Meantime, Weeks maintained that the initiative was not meant to be racist.
I don't see anything of racism in those 5 objectives. It should be sometimes the way people view something, what depending on the lenses they're looking at it through. But based on the 5 objectives that I have here, there's nothing racist in it. There's nothing racist in wanting to love yourself and wanting to uplift your family, uplift your community. Right now, we're the ones in Barbados. It's very difficult for Black businesses, to even get loans and to survive. We don't, and if we don't come together as a community to help each other, who's going to help us? So we have to help one another.
In other news this Tuesday, Barbados is being told not to let its guard down, even as the rest of the world looks at the country's success in managing the COVID-19 pandemic thus far. The caution is coming from the United Nations International Children's Fund representative for the Eastern Caribbean, as the country recorded its 90th case over the weekend.
That the incidence of COVID-19 was dropping, that the curve of COVID-19 cases, the curve was flattening. That's a success story. Of course, there is no time for Eastern Caribbean country, for Barbados and other nations in the Caribbean to let the guard down because, this is global, it's a pandemic, unless the outbreak is controlled in the rest of the world, we will not rest definitely. This is to say that despite the success, definitely we've got to stay vigilant.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To news from the region, St. Lucians will not be going to the polls to elect a new government during the state of emergency. So says Prime Minister Alan Shasney, who told the Current Affairs program that an election was not currently on his mind. We get more in this report from HTS News Force.
During an appearance on the Morning Heat on Monday, the government leader indicated that elections were not a major priority at this time.
Elections are not what's on my mind. Right now what's on my mind is the decision that we have to make this week with regards to opening the borders. What's on my mind is trying to help some of the more vulnerable groups in our society, trying to spread the money that we have as much as we can and to affect them. Also, the reality is, as Prime Minister of this country, while I'm not in every single ministry, the responsibility of all the ministries to get the job done falls on me. I get that. I understand that. And I'm accountable to the public for making sure that we could execute things as quickly as possible. So those are the things that are on my mind right now. How do we position St. Lucia to get the economy recovered as quickly as possible?
The Prime Minister says his administration and party would not call an election during the declared state of emergency.
We will continue to review the situation and make the determinations to when we think the right time to have the election is. But maybe I'll give some people some little...
Give us something, yeah.
That my party would never, hear this, never consider and never have elections during a state of emergency.
And finally, as the COVID-19 pandemic continues to create havoc across the world, a new report is warning that further outbreaks will emerge unless governments take active measures to prevent other zoonotic diseases from crossing into the human population.
We were warned that the current pandemic was not a matter of if, but when. And it's a human failing that we predict, but we do not prepare. So now we must become more proactive to avoid another pandemic, and we must address zoonotic diseases. This means recognizing the inextricably linked human health, animal health, and planetary health, that these three cannot be separated, and that we need to plan our responses accordingly. COVID-19 is, as we all know, one of the worst zoonotic diseases in terms of its rapidity with which it spreads. But it is not the first zoonotic disease. We also all know that. Ebola, SARS, MERS, HIV, Lyme's disease, Rift Valley fever, Lassa fever are just a few that have preceded it. In the last century, in fact, we've seen around 6 major outbreaks of novel coronaviruses. And 60% of known infectious diseases and 75% of new emerging infectious diseases are zoonotic in nature, i.e. they are derived from the animal world.
That's news. But for the very latest, visit us at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. And you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.